This is Press Pass, your all-access pass to an extra Meet the Press conversation.
This week on Press Pass, bringing one of this country's most polarizing figures and his legal theories from the chambers of the Supreme Court to the theatrical stage, of course. It's all in a new play about Antonin Scalia. It's called The Originalists, by award-winning playwright John Strand and actor Edward Giro, who portrays the justice. Gentlemen, welcome both. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
What motivated you to say, you know what the country needs is a play about Antonin Scalia?
Well, that was exactly it, what the country needs.
Right.
Well, fascinating figure, yes, a polarizing figure, larger than life, very kind of operatic personality. That's someone you could really build a play around. From the playwright's point of view, some of the work is done for you when you begin. You
know what? I find it's got to be a little more difficult, though. There aren't a lot of public appearances by him. There isn't a lot of interviews by him. There's more than people realize, but
yeah.
How did you get your raw material?
Well, part of it was going to the court and attending the different sessions, watching him.
Yeah. How long did you do that for?
Way. Oh, several times. Just came and watched him. I mean, it's theater, the Supreme Court, right? You've got your 9 lead actors.
To be.
You've got they're in costume. They come from the red curtain, and it's we were right at home. So part of that is watching and listening. There's a mountain of material on Justice Scalia, things that have been written, and of course his dissents and his majority opinions are public record. A great deal of material there. So that's part of the research process. And then also speaking to former clerks and people who have worked with him or presented cases before him. Washington is the right place to get that kind of background.
Ed, how did you get into character? What did you do?
I had a good year and a half when John first approached me and said, I've got this play that I'd like you to do. So I read...
And he said, all right, I found my Italian friend.
That's right, exactly right. No, I read biographies, Joan Biskupic in particular, the American original, read Federalist Papers. And there actually is a lot of material on the record, a lot of video and YouTubes. Saw him speak in front of the National War College. Saw him with Ruth Bader Ginsburg at Lisner Auditorium a few weeks ago.
Right.
And then saw several arguments and had lunch with him in chambers on 2 occasions.
So you did meet him?
Yeah, I've met him, yeah.
Yeah? Has he seen the play yet?
No. He's been invited.
He'll come.
Well, I don't know. He sent me a written dissent. Did
he really? That is fantastic. So give me the premise of the play, John.
Well, the premise of the play, it's set up structurally so that the justice has a law clerk who comes from a different political perspective, and part of that is a battle between the two, a kind of rhetorical battle.
So it's a three-person play, correct? It's three people, the justice and 2 clerks.
And 2 clerks.
But your main character here is the liberal clerk,
right?
And Justice Scalia.
And Justice Scalia, right.
Okay.
And they argue the points. I mean, we have in front of us the whole territory that a justice deals with in his job or her job. So in this case, a lot of rich territory to cover. And, yes, it becomes something of a battle between the two. But I think what we really wanted to explore in the play is how do you get 2 people of wide variant, they're really sort of polar opposites politically. How do you get them to listen to one another? How do you get them to take a step toward the other's position without necessarily changing who you are and what you believe in? But where's that respect that comes from listening? And the best way to hone an argument, if you wish to make a counter argument, is listen closely and hear what the other person has to say and stands for. So really it's a kind of an exploration of, what happened to the middle, and how do we get back there?
It's funny. The Supreme Court may be one of the last places, Ed, where there is an attempt to persuade.
Yeah,
we don't persuade in political arguments anymore.
I don't know. It's a dialectic, isn't it? I mean, it really isn't a debate. You hone your argument, you listen to the argument, and refine it, and take a position, and then vote on it. It's different than a debate. I don't think it's rhetorical. Actually, I think it's more dialectic. It's predicated on respect of the other person, and let's listen to the argument and tear it apart if we want to, or craft a better one. The legacy of the Enlightenment, right?
What surprised you most about Justice as you started studying him and to become him? What surprised you the most that you didn't know?
Well, when we met, I think that his not only his love of opera but his love of jazz, which made great sense to me because it's the democratic music form, right?
Yeah.
But nothing. Having read the biography, everything was confirmed that I had started to make decisions about how to approach him, his intellect, his sense of family, his sense of his roots, and his religious and spiritual life, and so forth, which we share to some degree, both from New Jersey and Roman Catholic and Italian American. We talked about his love of language. That's what really impressed me the most, was his fluency of language, his ability to create an argument on his feet.
No, it's what sets him apart. It's when people sit there and they go in there and they watch, and he's almost somewhat...
Such a great command of language.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take a break here. We'll talk more about the play itself. We'll be back with more on The Originalist, a new play about Antonin Scalia, in just a moment. Back now with John Strand and Edward Giro on their new play about Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia called The Originalist. So if someone comes in here, I'll be honest, when I first saw this as potential to do for Press Pass, I thought, oh, is this a liberal attack on Antonin Scalia? If I say that, what say you, John?
I say absolutely not. That was not my intention. It's not what we're doing on stage. I think it would be a waste of everyone's time if the idea was only to set up Justice Scalia so that we could mock him or cut him at the knees. Childish. That's not what we're doing. We're much more interested in the character of Justice Scalia and how he works inside the narrative that we've created here and the things that we're trying to explore in the play. So, no, that's not it at all. And I will say that, we have had liberals and conservatives come to the theater, and people find ways to engage in the story and are very complimentary from both sides of the political spectrum.
The thing about him, Edward, about Justice Scalia, is that he is, I think, his best friend on the court is Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yeah.
From my understanding. It's not, everybody assumes they all hang out with their ideological soulmates. That isn't the case. But Scalia in particular, it strikes me he's the patriarch of the Supreme Court family. Is that how you...
I would say that's accurate. He's very warm. He takes care of his clerks. He's a great host. And he also represents, he has the history, being there the longest.
Right.
And he takes it very seriously. And I think part of his mission is to let everyone know what it is it's like to be, how important it is to him.
Right. And John, I know one of the messages you hoped that would come out of this play is, you know what, people do talk to each other.
Yeah.
And you said a lot of people have been surprised that Justice Scalia has liberal clerks.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised when they don't. Yeah. I mean, it's my understanding that most justices, most judges, do like having an opposing ideological clerk, even if not a minority of their clerks that way, simply to get their arguments better.
Yeah, it would make sense to me too. But I think it surprises the general public. I mean, we've had several questions from audience members saying, did you invent this completely? Is this entirely fictional? Could Justice Scalia actually allow a liberal this close to him? It's that kind of thing. And it certainly happens. And I think for the very reasons that you're mentioning here, why would you not want to argue the other side if something you've been trained in as a lawyer for, in Justice Scalia's case, decades? And that's how you proceed with the argument, I'm assuming.
What is... What are the subject matters you guys deal with in here? What are the political hot-button topics that get debated?
Well, the big case is Windsor, the defense of marriage decision, and that's at the heart, and drafting that dissent. We also talk about other cases.
Yeah, we begin with some of the justices' actual words and comments and opinions on cases such as issues such as affirmative action.
Richmond Gross in '89, and
what's the time? Wade. What's the time period?
2012.
Is that the year?
So
2012?
So it's running up to the hearing of the Windsor case and the dissent at the end. So it's that season.
To me, one of the other appealing things about going to see this is we don't get to see justices.
Yeah.
The public doesn't feel. It's weird. They're all well known, but they're not. Yeah. There's this.
Right.
There is this.
It's sort of pulling the veil back behind the process of the court and how do you operate in chambers and do they really go at each other in
We have
chambers?
no idea.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. And by the way, usually you don't know for 50 years because most of these justices, after they die, they instruct. I think it's 50 years before their papers go public.
Is interesting.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's that much, but it depends on the justice.
But being in the court was really quite an extraordinary moment for me. Was that the sense of listening and it's the great Socratic classroom. And in many ways, that's the sense that's in the theater. People are listening in a way that they're hanging on to every word and following the argument, and it's challenging them to say, we tend to knee-jerk react, and if people don't agree with us, that we demonize them. And it's really asking them to say, well, maybe there's a better way to do it.
Right.
Would this play be more appealing to you? Would this subject matter be more appealing to you or less appealing if there were cameras in the Supreme Court and we visually had the public saw Scalia a lot more?
You wouldn't need my play at that point.
I was just going to say, I mean, in a weird way, is it good that there's a little bit of a cloak there?
I think
It's
great.
still a mystery. It's still a mystery.
Well, it's an
that,
oral
they do it.
experience.
Yeah.
It's not.
I'm totally torn on cameras in the
very-
Supreme Court. On one hand, the First Amendment guy in me says, of course. On the other hand, I don't know if I want our justices to feel the pressure of being public figures.
Well, they are.
Well, they are public figures.
No,
Very
but like
much
what
so.
that could
But
mean,
sure.
the idea of politically feeling
It
like
would have an effect, and sure, there's a debate now going on, of course, about what that effect would be. Is it better in terms of purely from a democratic standpoint, from a democracy issue point, to let the cameras be in the courtroom? On the other hand, it's one of the last places where cameras are not allowed. Maybe we should preserve some of that. For
Still
some
notes in
reason or
it, but you can listen to the arguments.
you
you can
can.
hear them.
it's open to the public,
transcripts.
and they do
Well, you can
transcripts,
transcript,
and there's
but
audio.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Are you one of these people? Did you put audio in the ear to get his voice patterns?
Oh yeah, I
Like
listen
that?
to you can go on the blog and listen to all of the arguments. But it's essentially an oral experience. It's not a visual experience.
John, you write about a lot of political incidents. You've written about, done plays on Iran-Contra and things like that. Who's the next subject matter that you're interested in?
I don't know. We're still searching. And if I did know, I probably wouldn't tell you now because it would only get me in trouble.
Who's the next best personality in the court?
Oh no. Oh,
Who would be, if you could do another play on someone in the court, is it
won't say-
Notorious RBG?
And well, I have tremendous respect for her.
Yeah.
And I have had the honor of meeting her a couple of times, and she's absolutely phenomenal, no question about it. But I will say one story was, and I won't say who the justice was, but I believe this was someone talking to you, Ed, who actually said, "So you're doing a play about my colleague? Where's my play?" Do I have 8 more to write or something?
Well, anyway, we will let Justice Breyer know what he said. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Anyway, Edward Shiro, John Strand, congratulations. The Originalist, a play about Antonin Scalia. He's probably the most interesting personality to do this on, so congrats.
Thank you.